90 Day Fiancé The Other Way Season 5 Episode 5 is titled My So-Called Wi-Fi, which is an obvious jab at Mary because she unplugs the router so that she can hang out with her guy friends behind her boyfriend's back. Traitor! The episode opens up showcasing Brandan and Mary's new intro. Our main cow is in the background eating grass. What can I say? At least somebody's eating something around here. Am I right, Brandan? I bet you were expecting to get your glizzy gobbled for 60K. Unfortunately, it's another blue ball morning for White Knight Brandan. Mary said, I won't give you this fire walk, but here's a water. Brandan says that even though last night was the first night that he slept in the same bed as Mary, he was uncomfortable for a number of reasons, which is understandable given how they slept.
How's your sleep?
I slept okay.
No wonder Brandan didn't sleep great. He was facing the wall. I'm sure a couple bugs crawled down the wall and crawled in his mouth. We've seen the spiders in this house and they're terrifying. And Mary forgot to call the exterminator before the landlord showed up. Mary was a little busy hitting those renegades, you know what I'm saying? Also, how tilting is it that you wait 2.5 years to get it in with this girl? You land there and you're sleeping head to foot and not head to peen. Brandan admits that in the past 2 years, they talked all the time about what their first night would be like, how steamy, how romantic, and this was definitely not it. Brandan says, hold on, let me put on my glasses. Mary, when I woke up to pee in the middle of the night, you weren't in bed. Did you go somewhere? Even the way that Brandan asked this question came across as needy. Mary then responded that she did sleep out in the living room, which makes Brandan's mind go into the worst place. Wait, Mary, I don't feel safe. Did you sleep in the living room with another guy?
Because your feet is bumping my head and it hurt me.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Brandan kicked Mary in the head because she insisted that they sleep in a ridiculous way, so I'm not surprised. I don't feel bad for her. If anything, I wish that TLC had the footage of that. I know it's creepy to film them sleeping, but I want to see the head kick.
Round 1. Fight.
Oh, yeah. Brandan then throws out a wacky idea. Maybe they should sleep head to head next time like a normal couple, and Mary agrees, which is a big up.
Mary going to sleep in the living room makes me feel very uncomfortable with myself because I'm thinking like, is it me? Is she not comfortable with me? Even though we've been talking for over 2 years.
Brandan, look at me. Stop talking to the audience about things you should be talking to your girl about. The way that she switched up on you when you arrived in the Philippines is sus. Mary's all of a sudden a virgin and wants to wait to have sex with Brandan until marriage. I can only assume it's one of those born-again virgin situations because she mentioned that her ex cheated on her 10 times and she expects us to believe that the guy that cheated on her 10 times didn't hit. Clearly, she assumes that everyone that watches this TV show is brain dead, which isn't true. Mary then gets the boiling water for Brandan's blue balls, and he takes one of those showers where he dumps a bucket of water on his head. While Mary was pouring the boiling water into the bucket, she admitted to the audience that Brandan in person is different than Brandan on FaceTime 24/7, go figure. So because of this, she wants to wait to get intimate with him. Mary goes on to acknowledge that Brandan's making a huge sacrifice to live with her in the Philippines, so she doesn't want to hurt his feelings. For breakfast, what's on today's menu is chicken adobo, and Mary wants to do something nice for Brandan, so she begins to feed him chicken adobo. The issue is that she's trying to fatten him up, so she feeds him too much chicken adobo.
You better eat a lot. And also, I want him to get chubby because when he's chubby, he's huggable, like teddy bears.
Mary wants Brandan to be pleasantly plump so that he resembles a teddy bear, and obviously she's doing this so that he's less attractive to other women. This is actually something that a lot of jealous partners do. They don't want you to look their best because they have this irrational fear of someone else coming along that's better than them and stealing you away.
Eat more.
Brandan continues to eat no matter how much food Mary shoves down his throat. Here is an action shot of him deep-throating chicken adobo. This scene kind of reminded me of when that fat kid from Matilda ate that chocolate cake.
What do you want to do today?
I will do farming. You and Grandpa.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He will teach you and you need to listen what he will say because it's important.
Okay, Debbie.
It's not looking good for our man Brandan. He has his girlfriend making all his plans for him while he's getting spoon-fed. How bad are the mommy issues, dog? Talk to me. The good news is that today, White Knight Brandan is gonna turn farmer because he's farming today with Grandpa. Farming is great knowledge to have because we all eat food, so I think farming with Grandpa seems like a good idea. Besides, not every family or community has the option of growing vegetables and fruit in their backyard. We've seen Brandan's house, he can do that. I think about life like a video game, so if I was him, I would absorb as much farming knowledge from Grandpa as I could before I kick him and Grandma out of the house. Brandan then puts on his boots, even though Mary, the local, told him that he doesn't need to wear boots.
I think it would be a good idea to try it with boots on.
Okay, it's up to you.
You can tell by how Mary laughed about the situation that he doesn't need the boots, and it's probably gonna end terribly for anyone that's in the situation. Listen to the locals. Anyways, Brandan and Mary walk over to help Grandpa on the farm. Now, when Brandan first arrives, he's a bit confused because when he heard farm, he assumed he would be harvesting fruits. So he asked what Grandpa is doing.
What is Lolo doing with this exactly?
He's preparing the mud for the rice to be planted.
Oh, okay.
Brandan admits that today he wasn't expecting to ride behind an ox in muddy water. Well, maybe you should expect the unexpected. Brandan then walks over to help Grandpa, but oh no, his boot gets stuck in the muddy water. Who saw this coming?
Up the malubong, Brandan. Oh. Okay. Whoa. Up na lubong.
Real quick, can we get a huzzah in the comment section for White Knight Brandan really proving his manliness to Grandpa by showing up to the first day of farming dressed like Puss in Boots?
It's the man's job to prepare the mud.
I just feed the pigs and chickens at the farm. That's it.
Whoa, let me get this right. So this girl doesn't have any responsibilities. She's not going to school. She's not working. The only thing she has to do every day is feed the pigs and the chickens on the family. Is life not fair or what? Where's our Brandan? In my case, where's my Brianna? Who wants to buy me a house? If I'm lying, I'm dying. The first episode, Brandan made it seem like Mary was such a go-getter. Fast forward $60,000 later, he's doing all of the work in this relationship. What an L. I have so many questions about this because it doesn't seem fair. Right now, if they're video game characters, Brandan is tanking, he's doing DPS, he's healing himself. Mary's in the corner just consuming elixirs.
Careful.
Go. Go. Go.
Lips. Up. Hinay-hinay lang tayo. Hinay-hinay lang. Up.
Oh.
I've never been so jealous of Brandan. This looks like so much fun. I love horseback riding and wake skating, so in a way, this is a hybrid of both. Brandan admits to the audience that he has no idea what he's doing here. He keeps trying to ask the grandpa for advice, but then he remembers that the grandpa doesn't speak English. While doing this fun activity with Grandpa, he hears the grandpa make these grunting sounds and the ox moves, so he tries it and the ox does in fact move for him. The only problem is that Brandan doesn't know how to steer the ox, so it's going off the path. Brandon's overthinking is getting the best of him again, and he has this fear that he's gonna slip and fall into the cow's butt, which I guess you could say would be a shitty situation. Do the rich guy laugh with me? After taking some time to assess Brandan's farming ability, Grandpa has come to the conclusion that he is not suited for this kind of work. I know, right? If Grandpa already thinks he's not suited for this kind of work, wait until Mary gets done feeding him and he's the size of Amberlyn Reed. The next thing you know, Brandan, Mary, and Grandpa take a break from farming to talk. Mary then says to the audience that she's really pleased that Brandan respected her grandpa and gave farming a fair shake. One itty bitty little problem: when Brandan and Mary sit down with Grandpa after farming, Brandan admits that he's overcome with guilt. He feels bad that he lied to Grandpa. When Grandpa asked what happened when he picked up Mary from the airport, he never said that he kissed Mary, and this is something that has been really on his mind a lot.
As soon as I met her, we kissed.
Nag-kiss kami nga dua.
After Mary tells Grandpa that her and Brandan kissed at the airport, he admits to the audience that he's angry that they didn't ask for his permission before kissing.
Could you translate to him, I'm sorry for kissing you?
Tay, ano ko na si Brandan.
Time out, Brandan. The only thing that you should apologize for is being dishonest with Grandpa when you first met him. Anyways, Brandan then formally asked Mary's grandfather for permission to kiss his granddaughter.
Mapasugot na lang ko nga pro masawahay na lang. Antod nga isa kag isa sa inyo magbakod ng inyong pag-inupdanay.
He's saying just make sure that you will marry me because you already kissed me.
Well, that translation was a little bit off, but clearly they're trying to lock down their ATM brand. You give Grandpa an inch and he takes a mile. He then tells Brandan and Mary that they need to get married and start thinking about when their wedding is, and Brandan's thinking to himself, whoa, Grandpa, I just kissed this girl and kicked her in the head and now we're already talking about marriage? Don't get me wrong either, Brandan fully intends on marrying Mary, but he finds it weird that they kissed and the Grandpa's all of a sudden saying that they need to get married right away. The next time that we see Brandan, he's cleaning the house, something that I feel like Mary and her family should be doing, but I don't really care that much because I'm not paying for this, he is. Brandan then says to the audience that he's really happy that he broke the ice with Mary's family, but he wants to confirm that they have a healthy relationship before he marries her, which confuses me because at what point have y'all had a healthy relationship? This girl started an argument with you and broke up with you, told you not to come to the Philippines anymore because a girl happened to sit next to you on a flight. But hey, who needs a healthy relationship when you can just go to the beach and forget about all your problems, right? And that's exactly what Mary and Brandan are doing today. They're going to the beach to meet Mary's friends. These are the same friends that she hangs out with behind Brandan's back.
When Brandan is in America, he doesn't like when I spend time with my guy friends. So I tell Brandan that I will stop hanging out with them until he gets here in the Philippines.
Well, Mary never actually stopped hanging out with her guy friends, so let's just add that to the lie count. Brandan's curious whether her guy friends like him or not, so he asked Mary if her guy friends like him.
They liked you, but Pong doesn't like how you not letting me hang out with them.
I know, so tilting. It's the pot calling the kettle black. Brandan then asked Mary a very good question, though.
Does Pong know how you don't let me hang out with friends when I was in America?
Well, judging from Mary's reaction, she definitely left that part out, which is so hypocritical of her because she won't even let Brandan hang out with his own mom and sister out of the fear that they're gonna have friends that are other girls at the house. Brandan communicates to the audience that he finds it insulting that Mary's allowed to have guy friends, but he can't have girlfriends. Mary then communicates to Brandan that it's justified she's allowed to hang out with her guy friends because she's known them since childhood. Meanwhile, Brandan doesn't have any girlfriends that he's known from childhood, which isn't really fair because Brandan's had a rougher childhood than Mary has. You grew up in this peaceful town with your grandparents. This man was ripped away from his mother because she failed a drug test. He lived with his father, who was abusive. Then he ran away from home and was couch surfing. Also, at one point, lived in his car for months. Then his godparents found out and invited him to come live with them in this RV outside of their house, which is where this man was living before he full sent it to live in the Philippines with you. Everyone that's moved around a lot, especially during their childhood, is fully aware that it's hard to maintain friendships. Especially for Brandan, because those years when all of his peers and friends were going to college, he was trying to create a safe space and stability for himself in his life. Let me know what y'all think in the comments about this, but Mary hitting him with this is so shitty in my opinion because you know this man's upbringing and it just shows that he has so much more respect for this girl than she has for him. And the most tilting part as a viewer is that Brandan's so passive in this relationship that he doesn't stand up to Mary or bring up any good arguing points that contradict the things that she says. Oh yeah!
It's your fault. I'm not the toxic one.
Toxic is when she doesn't want you around another female that's your mother or your sister.
Said he won't be sitting with girls or anyone. I have the reason to get mad.
I'm not the toxic one.
So these are my friends.
This is awkward, right?
Brandan has a lot of nervous energy. I don't know if he's intimidated by them, and if so, I don't know why he would be, but just introduce yourself and be polite, dude. Mary's friends tell the audience that Brandan may be jealous, but they want their friend to have a healthy relationship. Clearly, Mary shows a different side to her friends than she does to Brandan because they are both jealous in this relationship.
We are just friends.
When she went to the beach with you guys, it's like no service. Yeah. So I can't be on the phone, and you guys are just having fun while I'm just like, not.
Wait, Mary, when you go to the beach with your guy friends, do they like put sunblock on your butt and then eat your butt cheeks and your starfish? Oh no, my mind's going to the worst place.
How you know that already?
Because she would tell me, so I don't overthink. And we don't hide secrets.
Okay, so funny enough, one of Mary's friends actually outs the fact that she unplugs the router when she hangs out with them behind Brandan's back. Look at Brandan's face, he's so tilted. Why don't we replay that clip of him saying that him and Mary have no secrets between them?
And we don't hide secrets.
Do you know that Mary Flag her Wi-Fi to go hang out many other time with us.
Wait, Mary, my mind's going to the worst place. When you unplug the router and you hang out with your guy friends, you don't suck their glizzies or anything weird, right? Brandon feels incredibly disrespected by this and betrayed because he trusted Mary, and he admits to the audience that if he did something like this to her, she would never forgive him. So he's confused why she would do this to him. We already saw the way that this girl acted when he sat next to a random girl on a plane. Could you imagine if he was secretly meeting up with girlfriends behind her back? She would freak out. So sad. Brandon already has massive trust issues, and now we learned that his girlfriend's been lying to him this entire time. Mary then apologizes to Brandon, and he forgives her right away because he's a weakling. However, Brandon proceeds to do something really good, which is remind this woman that she set a boundary and he respected that boundary. He's been isolating himself because she has massive trust issues, but he reminds this girl that he also has massive trust issues, but she didn't respect his boundaries. Mary's the kind of girl that won't even let this dude have guy friends because she assumes that they're going to be a bad influence on him.
I couldn't even make friends who were guys.
Which is crazy because whether you're a guy or a girl, everyone deserves to have friends and have a sense of independence, even if you're in a relationship. Now, the good news is Mary apologizes to Brandon and acknowledges her hypocrisy, which was cool to see. Very proud of the growth, Mary. Acknowledging your mistakes in your relationship is a step in the right direction. Mary has immense jealousy and abandonment issues as well. It's not just Brandon. So hopefully they can see a therapist and talk about a lot of these issues that they both have. My prescription for Brandon is that he starts gaming and joins a Discord. Trust me, dude, gaming friends are the best friends you can have, especially when you're such a pussy in relationships. Shut your fucking mouth! You smell that? It smells like opportunity. After a couple weeks of gaming with your gamer friends and getting relationship advice from them, you're gonna become the incel that you were always meant to be, Brandon. On a more serious note, I'm gonna keep y'all updated about this couple because new episodes come out weekly. Check out our merch if you want to dress like a cool kid. If you want some one-on-one time with me, please order a Cameo. I'm the #1 Cameo creator in the entire world. Super thankful y'all watch my content. Comment below, subscribe. Follow me on Twitch and on Instagram right now.